We're going to be reviewing Adalo versus Softr. You'll learn 3 things. Number 1, the key features. Number 2, the pricing. And number 3, which one I would choose. What is Adalo? Adalo is a platform where you can create apps in just a few minutes. It allows you to use the power of no code to start building your app. What is Softr? Softr is a platform where you can create websites and web apps with Airtable in minutes. Let's look at the key features of Adalo. When you're building, you can use components, actions, and a database to build your app. What I like about Adalo is when you're just getting started, if you feel like you don't know where to begin, the templates are top-notch. Depending if you're trying to create an ordering app, a Facebook clone, coaching app, in just a few seconds, I can click which template I want to use, and then it allows me to have it all built out in the workflow of that app. To supercharge the app, they also come with clonable kits, so I can have like a podcast app, custom list, chat features, custom navigation, and the list goes on and on. This is really useful if I'm not equipped or I'm just not used to building a database and trying to think about how I would have some of these things already built out. I can just use these clonable kits within seconds. For a moment, we're going to look at what the app platform looks like once you get started. I just chose to make an appointment app clone. And then right here, I already have everything already done, laid out for me, starting with the welcome and sign up walkthrough until the main homepage and everything like that built in my app. So it's really easy to get started. And we have another video, we'll have a link or something below that will show you, we have a breakdown of how to get started with Adalo very quickly. When I'm looking at the key features of Softr, what I would really first think about is the use cases of what you can use Softr for. You can create a web app, you can create a website, but also you can create a client portal, internal tools, a marketplace, online communities, and a resource directory. So when we're looking at key features, I would first think about what I'm trying to create and what's best for my use case. And so after I decide on the use case, then I can look at the features to really make sure that it's the right fit for my scaling company, or if I'm just trying to create a minimal viable product, an MVP, Softr would be a great option for you. If we're looking at trying to create a membership, we have an easy way to have user accounts, member-only content, and secure data. Let's just say, like, if you're accustomed to using Airtable for your database and you've always wanted a specific look and feel of it, now we have 10 plus dynamic layouts to really make sure that we're showing the data the way we want to. It looks pleasing to us and we can go from there. So we can have a card view, gallery view, grid view, a table view, list details. There's a lot of different options. And they have 70 plus pre-built blocks. If we go into the builder over here, this is after you sign into Softr. If I'm looking at the pages that I have, right? So my page is right here. I can say add block. And then here I can just decide on what I'm going to be having options for, a plug and play right here, right? So we have the static options. And then over here, we have more dynamic. What do we need to happen for the page? This is really important, especially if you're accustomed to something like Elementor from WordPress or Squarespace, and you want to just have a block system to really build out your web app or whatever MVP. Softr has all of those things, and it's pretty easy to get started. Let's look at pricing. For Adalo, you can start for free. You have unlimited apps. You do have the Adalo branding, and you have to publish to an Adalo domain. And you have a limited to 50 rows of data per app. Now, when I'm thinking about like the 50 rows, is that a lot? Is that a little? Kind of depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to get out the door and just go to investors, improve your concept, or you have a very small user base and they're just getting started before you start going into paid options for you to start making money off of your app, this could be something that could be good for you. It really depends on the type of app you're trying to create, where it matters with the 50 rows of data. Depending on how much the user is saving and all of those things, it's going to really depend on if you're going to run out of rows quickly. Then if we go to $50 a month, here's where you get the best options, right? So you can have unlimited apps still. You can publish to the Apple and Google stores, which is a plus, especially if you're trying to go to market and to be in a bigger marketplace like those. You can publish to a custom web domain, connect to external data collections. So if I'm using something like Xano or Backendless, that's where I can start using that. It starts at $50 a month. And then I can trigger unlimited custom actions. So the custom actions, if I'm going to be doing something with Zapier or Trello or Twilio. So if I want to do any advanced automation, I can do that as well. And now the storage, I have up to 5 gigs and I have a 1 seat, so an app builder. If we move over to the business plan, that's $200 a month. Where's the biggest difference? I would say the storage. You're going up to 20 gigs and you have 5 seats for app builders and a dedicated account manager. So if I'm looking at the difference in prices for this structure, really it comes down to where are you in your business? Are you doing this as an MVP? And you can work really leanly. You can start for free right here. And I think that's still a good option depending on the type of app that you're trying to create. Then if I'm going to enter the app stores, then I'm going to be looking at $50 per month. But to me, if I can't validate on the free plan, I just wouldn't scale up. I wouldn't pay for the pro plan until I get validation from my audience, and then I would decide to go from there. In the comment section down below, let me know what you're working on. Are you working on an MVP? Do you already have a business where you need an app to scale, such as you need an ordering app? Let me know. We're turning to the pricing for Softr. For this, you can also start for $0 and you can do unlimited application, which is similar to Adalo. You have 1 collaborator, 1 custom domain. That's pretty nice. So off the jump, even for free, I can have a custom domain. I do have the Softr branding. I can have memberships up to 5 members, a paywall, and Airtable integration up to 200 records and email support. So if we're looking at the difference with Adalo, we had up to 50 rows, right? 50 rows. We're getting 200 rows at the free plan. But again, depends on the app, depends on what you're trying to create and why it would matter. What I do like about the free plan, they also have the paywall, so I can already be charging for reoccurring and one-time members, and it's giving me up to 5 members. That gives me the opportunity, if I'm already making money, then I can scale, if it's appropriate, to the starter or professional plan. But this allows me to gain traction, find out what, if my audience wants what I'm selling, and then go on from there. This is perfect, especially if I'm looking at the use case, if I'm trying to create a marketplace and just do an MVP for a marketplace. This allows you to, at a very minimal cost, test out if your marketplace could work and then scale up. If we look at the starter plan, what's the difference? We now have the option to have no Softr branding. We still have membership at 5 members. Now our Airtable integration now goes up to 1,000 records, and the custom code, we can have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and we get access to live chat support. Switching over to professional, the biggest thing that stands out to me is now your collaborators go up. You can have 2 custom domains. Your Airtable integration goes up to 10,000. And you can update Airtable records, all logged in users. Okay, so this is, say for instance, there's changes being made in the app. It will already be able to sync and be able to go up in real time. Beforehand, I think this is actually a newer feature. With Airtable, with Softr, I'd had to go into Airtable, make the changes. Now with the professional plan, it syncs and does all those things for you. That's a time saver. So that way you don't have to go back and forth into 2 different platforms. You can just stay in Softr and run it. Transfer applications. If I'm trying to sell my templates or sell web app that I've created in Softr, with the professional plan, now I can start having that as another business opportunity where I can scale and start having that as a revenue source. And so now it's not just a service-based business, me selling apps. I can just be selling my templates or best practices that someone else can purchase, and I start making money off that way. For the business plan, that's $165. Now we're increasing our collaborators. The 3 custom domains, we have more with that. The membership, 100,000 members. Oh, okay. So let's look back. There's something I missed. So for the professional plan, the memberships can go up to 10,000. So for starter, it's 5 members. Now going up to professional, it's up to 10,000 members. Business, you're going up to 100,000 members. Again, scaling with the creator of your community. Back to business plan. Now we have update Airtable records, custom permission rules list. So before it was all logged in users and professional. Now you can set up your permissions depending on what's happening with you. You can do the field level edit permission per each user group. So I'm looking at this. It's just going to give you a lot more control and a lot more customizable features with your business. And that makes sense, especially if you have that many members or you're trying to create a very custom either course or like university, online university, and expanding community. I can see that. It also allows you to have charts, which allows you to, again, have more options depending on your type of web app or creation. Now that we've looked at the features and pricing of both platforms, which one would I choose? And the winner is Softr. The reason I would use Softr is, number one, it's really easy with the onboarding. Love what they're doing there, but I like how fast they're building new features. Almost every single week, they're releasing new updates, they're listening to the community, and it just keeps getting better and better. The other thing I would look at is the use cases. Especially on this channel, I get a lot of questions on marketplaces or trying to create some kind of like Airbnb or those types of web apps. Softr allows you to not only create that MVP, that minimal viable product, but it allows you to scale with purpose with what you're trying to do with your business. All in all, I'm going to go with Softr in this. And if you want more ideas or if you're thinking, I'm not sure if this is right for me, in the comment section down below, let me know what you're working on. And if you like these kind of videos, make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel. We do these kinds of videos every single week. I'll see you in the next video.